Welcome, curious minds. Today we're embarking on a deep dive into a topic that honestly unlocks some significant financial doors. We're talking about building what our source material calls powerful credit.
Mm,
You might think it's simply about, chasing a high number on your credit report.
right, just getting that score up.
Exactly. But this deep dive reveals it's far more strategic, almost like crafting a financial identity.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
It's not just about the score. It's about sculpting a credit profile so solid, so attractive
Yeah.
that credit issuers actually start seeking you out.
Seeking me out.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're talking easily accessing cards with limits of $10,000, $25,000,
All right.
maybe more, getting those pre-approvals showing up, having the power to negotiate rates, maybe even waive fees.
Okay, that sounds pretty powerful. So our mission for you today is to unpack this whole system. How do you turn ordinary credit into this, well, powerful credit?
Exactly.
We'll explore everything. The hidden factors banks really look at, some secret application strategies. By the end of this deep dive, you should have the knowledge, the tools, really, to transform your financial opportunities.
That's the goal.
So let's unpack this concept then. Powerful credit. If it's not just the number, what is it?
Well, it's less about chasing that score, like you said, and more about strategically building your entire financial presence, making it something banks genuinely want to partner with.
A partnership. Interesting.
Yeah, and a crucial insight here is that it boils down to stability, showing you have financial experience, and fundamentally, trustworthiness.
Right.
And this powerful credit, it isn't just a label. It means you get approvals without all the extra checks. You see frequent pre-approvals from the big banks land in your inbox. And yes, you gain that leverage to actually negotiate better rates or get fees waived sometimes.
Okay, and this isn't just for like the super financially savvy elite, right?
Not at all. Our
Hmm.
source really emphasizes this. It's achievable for anyone who commits to understanding how credit is constructed, you know, diligently correcting errors, strategically adding the right accounts, we call those trade lines,
Trade lines, that's it.
and applying with, well, intelligence and timing.
All right, let's maybe revisit some basics people might know, but with this strategic lens. The 5 core factors of your credit score.
Hmm.
Our source doesn't just list them. It shows how leveraging each one strategically is the key to those high limits.
Right. And what the source emphasizes isn't just what they are, but how disproportionately powerful they can be when managed correctly.
Okay.
So number one, paying history. That's 35%.
The biggest chunk.
The absolute bedrock. It's not just paying on time, but understanding that even one late payment signals a trust issue to banks.
Mhm.
Their internal systems track that for years. It can really hinder getting high limits no matter what else looks good.
Wow, one slip can cost you for years. Okay.
And then number two, credit utilization, 30%.
Almost as big.
Almost. This is the percentage of your available credit you're actually using. And the goal here, this is critical, is keeping it consistently under 10%.
Under 10%. That seems really low.
It is. Banks see high utilization as a huge red flag. Financial stress. Our source points out it's better to have, say, 5 cards with tiny balances than one maxed out card.
Even if the total used amount is the same.
Yeah, because it shows you have access to credit but aren't reliant on it. Keep it low, ideally even below 7% before applying for new credit.
Below 7%. Okay, noted. What's next?
Third is length of credit history. That's 15%.
Okay.
Simply put, older credit is better.
Mm.
It shows long-term stability, responsible habits over time. That's why the advice is always don't close old accounts, even unused ones.
Even if I never use that old department store card.
Keep it open. Make a tiny purchase once a year if you have to. Its age benefits your whole profile.
Got it. Don't close old cards. Number 4.
Number 4, new credit applications, 10%. Every time you apply for new credit, it generates a hard inquiry.
Right. I've seen those on my report.
And each one can temporarily dip your score a few points. Too many, too fast. That signals desperation to lenders.
Okay, so apply thoughtfully. And the last one.
Last one, also 10%. Types of credit used, or credit mix. This shows financial maturity, having experience with different kinds of credit, like credit cards, maybe a personal loan, a car loan, lines of credit, shows you can manage various financial products responsibly.
So a mix is good, not just credit cards.
Exactly. A healthy mix looks better.
Okay, so if payment history and utilization are, 65% combined, does that mean someone with a shorter history but like perfect payments and super low utilization, can they actually look better to a bank than someone with a really long history but maybe higher utilization or a past mistake?
Absolutely. That's a key insight. The interplay matters. A shorter, perfectly managed history often looks far better than a long one that's messy. It signals deliberate, responsible management right from the start. Bunks like that.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so building on that. Many people think, get a high score, you're golden. But our source says, hold on, not all high scores are equal. A 700 isn't always a 700.
Right.
What's the real story there?
Well, the question is, what's the difference? Banks look beyond that single FICO number. They look at your entire profile.
The whole picture.
The whole picture. Let's break down these score ranges and what they generally unlock, according to the source. 660 to 679. Very few approvals. Limits are usually tiny, maybe $500 to $2,000.
Okay, barely starting.
Right. 680 to 699. You might get some basic cards, but good limits are pretty rare.
Still limited.
Then 700 to 719. This is a good starting point. You've got potential for maybe $5,000 to $10,000 limits, but it's definitely not guaranteed.
Okay, things are opening up.
Now, 720 to 749. This range really gets you access to the premium cards.
Yeah.
Potential for $15,000 lines, maybe more.
Nice.
And 750 plus. That signals maximum bank confidence. Often leads to instant approvals, frequent offers just showing up.
That's the target zone then.
That's where you want to be for powerful credit. And consider this example the source gives. 2 people, both with a 720 score. Sounds the same, right?
Yeah.
But person A has 8 accounts, 5 years of history, and keeps their utilization at like 3%. They might get approved for $20,000. Person B, also 720, but only has 2 brand new accounts, and their utilization is 28%. They could easily be rejected.
Wow, same score, totally different outcome.
Totally different. Banks aren't just checking the number. They're looking for that consistent pattern. Paying on time, got history, low utilization, good mix of accounts, minimal recent inquiries.
It's the story behind the score.
Exactly. You need to ensure the score reflects a healthy, attractive profile, not just an arbitrary number.
That makes so much more sense. But okay, that healthy profile, it seems it goes even deeper than what's on the standard credit report. Our source talks about these internal bank practices, almost like secrets that can put you way ahead of other applicants. Let's dive into those.
Right, this is where it gets really interesting. Understanding these internal mechanics can be a game changer. First, the bank's internal score.
Their own score.
Yes. Quietly, each bank calculates its own score for you based on your history with them. It includes your payment patterns on their products, your deposit amounts, other things you use with them, even, apparently, customer service interactions.
So, how I treat them matters.
It seems so. The insight here: open an account with a bank before you apply for their credit card. Use their debit card. Keep healthy balances. Show positive activity. Build that internal score first.
Wow, okay. Build the relationship first. What else?
Second, monthly approval moments. Banks aren't just handing out credit endlessly. Some seem to free up more credit capacity at specific times, like after the 15th of the month or near their month-end close.
So timing your application within the month matters.
It could. Applying between the 15th and 25th might give you a bit more margin for approval compared to the beginning of the month.
Interesting. Okay, number 3.
3, they want real, not perfect, profiles. This one's counterintuitive.
How so?
An 850 score with 0 debt, 0 card use, no inquiries. It can actually look suspicious to their algorithms.
Like you're not a real customer?
Kind of. It doesn't look like an active, genuine profile. Banks actually value seeing activity. So the tip is, use your cards regularly for everyday things, pay them off before the statement date, but don't completely avoid using them. Show responsible activity.
Okay, active but responsible. Got it. Number 4.
4, credit bureaus aren't the only filter. Banks check more than just Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. They look at internal blacklists, fraud databases, even things like your browsing behavior on their website or app.
Seriously? My browsing?
It seems so. And potentially cross-referencing info from other sources. The key takeaway: consistency. Don't change your address, phone number, or job right before you apply for credit. Keep your info stable and consistent everywhere.
Okay, consistency is key. And the last secret.
5, manual approval exists. Don't just accept an automated rejection.
You can fight it.
You can ask for reconsideration. Call the bank. Many rejections are overturned after a human reviews your info or you explain something that triggered an alert.
How do you approach that call?
Call promptly. Be firm but polite. Have your credit report ready to discuss specifics. It often works.
That's incredibly useful. The internal score idea is fascinating, building that relationship. But what if someone needs credit like right now and doesn't have months to build up history with a specific bank? Is there still a way?
That's a fair question. Building that internal relationship is definitely the optimal path for the best results with that bank. But it's not an absolute roadblock if you need credit sooner.
Okay.
In that case, the other factors just become even more critical. Impeccable external credit report, super low utilization, a really smart application strategy. You might need to start with different banks, perhaps ones known for being a bit more welcoming to new customers, or accept slightly lower initial limits. But the path is still there. It just might be, a bit steeper without that pre-existing trust factor.
Understood. So optimal path involves relationship building, but it's not the only way. Okay, so to secure those high limits, it really sounds like the entire profile needs that polish, that deep clean.
Exactly.
Our source gives a step-by-step process for this pre-application optimization.
Yeah, think of it like detailing your car before a big show. You want everything gleaming. Step 1. Review your credit report in detail, and I mean detail.
Just a quick glance?
So, get your reports from all 3 bureaus, Experian, Equifax, TransUnion. Use annualcreditreport.com or a good monitoring service. Scrutinize them. Look for closed accounts still showing open, wrong balances, late payments that aren't yours, duplicate entries, anything off.
Okay, deep dive into the reports. Then what?
Step 2. Eliminate or dispute errors. Find something wrong, dispute it formally. Certified letters are often recommended, or use the CFPB's online portal. Every single error removed strengthens your score and profile.
Be proactive about fixing mistakes.
Okay. Step 3. Lower current card utilization. This is absolutely non-negotiable. If you're over 10%, pay it down aggressively. Ideally, get below 7% for the biggest impact before you apply.
Get that utilization way down. Got it.
Step 4. Increase limits on existing accounts. Call your current card companies where you have good history. Ask for a credit line increase. Many banks let you do this online or in their app now.
Does that hurt your score?
Often it's just a soft pull, which doesn't impact your score like applying for a new card does. Always ask if it's a soft or hard pull, though. Getting an increase automatically lowers your utilization percentage without a new inquiry. It's a smart move.
Nice tip. Increase existing limits.
Okay. Step 5. Add positive accounts strategically. We mentioned trade lines earlier. Deliberately add accounts designed to build credit. Things like Self, Grow Credit, Credit Strong, maybe a secured card if needed. These report positive payment history, build age, and improve your credit mix.
Be strategic about new accounts. Makes sense.
Step 6. Avoid new inquiries before applying. Put a freeze on applying for anything else for at least 30 days before you start your main application sequence. Let your score settle and avoid looking desperate for credit.
Okay. A 30-day quiet period.
And finally, step 7. Ensure information consistency. This is crucial. Your name, address, employer, income. You must match exactly across all 3 credit reports and every application you submit.
Exactly. Like street versus saint matters.
It absolutely can. Inconsistencies are huge red flags for automated systems and lead to rejections. Double-check everything.
Wow, that level of detail. So is this meticulous optimization, is that really the difference between getting a basic $2 K card and a $20 K one?
It truly is. It's the groundwork. It demonstrates to banks that you're low risk, you're responsible, you're organized. That's exactly who they want to extend large lines of credit to. It removes doubt.
Okay, the groundwork is crucial. And a key part of that groundwork you mentioned is adding trade lines strategically. These accounts reporting to your history. It's not just about getting any account right. It's smart building.
Exactly. And the surprising truth here is it's quality over quantity. A few good trade lines beat many mediocre ones.
Quality over quantity. Okay.
So, first principle, prioritize age, positive history, and low usage. An old account with perfect payments and a tiny balance carries immense weight.
It's that old card I never use.
Don't just let it sit. Reactivate it. Make one small purchase a month like a coffee and pay it off immediately. That keeps it alive, reporting positive activity and contributing that valuable age.
Smart. Okay, what else makes a trade line quality?
Second, add accounts that report to all 3 bureaus. Not all lenders report everywhere. Our source highlights services known to report to Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, like Self-Inc, Credit Strong, Ava, Covo, certain secured cards. You want your efforts reflected across your entire credit profile.
Makes sense. Ensure it reports everywhere.
Third, consider using savings accounts with credit reporting. This is clever. Services like Credit Strong and Self are structured like savings loans. You make monthly payments, which builds positive credit history. And then you get your saved money back at the end. It's a way to build credit while saving.
Interesting. Build credit by saving. Okay.
Fourth, strategic store cards. Don't dismiss them entirely. Cards from places like Amazon, Apple, maybe a major department store can offer decent limits and diversify your credit mix.
But aren't store cards usually easier to get but have lower limits or higher interest?
They can, but used strategically only for planned purchases you'd make anyway, and paid off immediately before the statement cuts, they can add value.
Okay, use them carefully. Got it.
And fifth, consider becoming an authorized user on a trustworthy account.
Like on a parent's or spouse's card.
Exactly. If someone you trust has a card with a long, perfect history and low utilization, being added as an authorized user can effectively piggyback some of that positive history onto your report.
But there's a risk there, right, if they mess up.
Huge risk. You must ensure their account management is impeccable. Low usage, never late. If they stumble, it hurts you too. Choose wisely. And overall, be incredibly selective. Avoid adding any account that might report late payments or high utilization. One bad trade line can seriously undo months of optimization work.
So it really is strategic selection. 3 to 5 great accounts beat 10 mediocre or risky ones.
Precisely.
This feels very tactical, very deliberate. Okay, so profile optimized, trade lines chosen carefully. Now, the moment of truth. Applying. You said when and where you apply is just as crucial for those high limits.
Absolutely. Timing and target selection are key. So how do you time it perfectly? It's a bit of a dance.
Okay, lead the way.
First, the timing. Apply only after you've paid down all your card balances, get them near zero. And ensure you have no recent hard inquiries. Wait at least that 30-day quiet period we talked about. Let your score fully reflect the optimization.
Patience is key.
Okay. Second, best times the month. As we touched on with the secrets, some banks seem to have more approval capacity between the 15th and 25th. Applying mid to late month might offer a slight edge compared to the stricter start of the month.
Worth considering. Okay, and where to apply? Which banks offer the best shot?
Our source points to a few specific types or institutions. Navy Federal Credit Union. They're known for being surprisingly generous with limits, even for folks with younger credit histories, especially if you're a member.
Navy Federal. Okay, good to know.
American Express. They tend to favor profiles with good account age and a clear history of responsible spending and payment.
Amex likes history. Got it.
Chase. They're generally more conservative. They have rules like the 524 rule. Basically, if you've opened 5 or more cards from any bank in the last 24 months, they'll likely deny you.
Wow, okay. Need to be careful with Chase.
Definitely research their rules before applying. Capital One. Good for diversifying your portfolio, building a relationship, but initial limits might start lower.
Capital One for diversification.
And then there are the fintechs, like Cred.ai and Petal. They use more modern, inclusive underwriting. Great for reinforcing a profile, maybe if traditional metrics aren't perfect yet.
Fintechs as a stepping stone or supplement.
Exactly. But avoid just randomly applying to multiple cards on the same day without a clear plan. Even if inquiries get grouped, banks see that rapid-fire activity as urgency or risk.
Right. No shotgun approach. It sounds like this timing and selection really underscores how deliberate you need to be. You mentioned applying in a sequence. How does that work? How can that multiply results?
Ah, yes, the application sequence. This is the more advanced strategy, but it can be really effective. It leverages how credit bureaus group those hard inquiries.
Okay, I'm intrigued. How does it work?
Step 1. Start with non-traditional bureaus or fintechs. Begin with companies like Petal, Tomo, Cred.ai, grain ones using their own approval models or alternative data. They're often less sensitive to inquiries, and getting that first yes builds momentum.
Get an early win. Okay.
Step 2. Move to banks with flexible criteria. Once you have an approval, pivot to institutions known for being a bit more accessible or generous. Think Navy Federal, PenFed, Discover, especially if you already bank with them or have some relationship. That internal score helps here.
Leverage existing relationships. Got it.
Step 3. Apply to traditional banks with higher demands. Now that you have recent approvals, your profile looks stronger. This is when you might target the more conservative banks like Chase, Amex, Bank of America. You appear less risky now.
Use the momentum. Okay. And how fast should this sequence happen?
Step 4. Keep the sequence tight within 1 to 5 days. This is crucial. Applying for similar types of credit, like multiple credit cards, in a very short window means the bureaus often group the hard inquiries. This minimizes the score impact compared to spreading applications out over weeks.
Ah, so that's why the tight time frame, it protects your score.
Exactly. And this is a big, but don't go crazy.
Right. How many applications are too many in this sequence?
You absolutely should not apply more than, say, 3 or 4 times total within this short sequence, maybe even just 2 or 3. Any more than that, even grouped, can trigger immediate fraud alerts and automatic blocks from the banks. It looks highly suspicious.
Okay, keep it focused, 2 to 4 max.
Precisely. The difference between average results and powerful credit really hinges on this careful order, timing, and strategic restraint.
Strategy is everything. It's clear. And sometimes, as important as what you do is what you avoid doing. What are those common mistakes our source highlights that just kill people's chances for high limits?
Yes, avoiding pitfalls is just as critical. Here are the big ones. Number one, applying with high balances. We keep coming back to this, but it's probably the biggest killer. High utilization screams financial stress, even with a great score if your cards are carrying 50% balances. Likely denial.
So the solution is...
Get those balances below 10%, ideally near zero, before you hit submit on any application, period.
Okay, absolutely crucial. What's mistake number 2?
Too many recent inquiries. Applying too often, too quickly, signals desperation. Triggers red flags. The solution: apply strategically using that tight sequence we just discussed, not randomly.
Got it. Avoid looking desperate. Number 3.
Inconsistent application information. Seems small, but it's a huge deal for automated systems. Differences in address, job title, income picture, even minor variations across applications or compared to your credit report. Automatic rejection for potential fraud.
So the solution is...
Meticulous consistency.
Right.
Proofread everything. Ensure your info matches exactly everywhere.
Check, double check, triple check. Okay, mistake 4.
Not reviewing your report beforehand. Applying blind is asking for trouble. You might have errors, old late payments still showing, wrong account statuses, duplicates that are torpedoing your chances without you even knowing.
Ignorance is definitely not bliss here.
Not at all. Solution: thoroughly review and clean up your reports at least 15 days before you plan to apply.
Okay, clean the report first. And the last common mistake.
Applying without knowing the issuer's specific rules. Each bank plays by slightly different rules. Things like Chase's 524 rule. Or maybe a bank has a limit on how many of their cards you can hold.
So you need to research the specific bank.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Check online forums, the bank's official site, read about others' experiences. Don't apply if you know you'll violate one of their known rules.
Do your homework on the bank itself.
Exactly. Avoiding these common mistakes is what elevates your profile from ordinary to genuinely valued by lenders. Preparation truly dictates the outcome.
Preparation defines results. I like that. And these strategies, this preparation, it's not just theory, right? Our source includes real examples.
Yes, and these stories really show the power of applying these principles. Take case 1. Andres, 27 years old, started with basically zero credit history.
A blank slate, okay.
You got a $300 secured card. Then, he strategically used Self and Credit Strong for 6 months, just building that consistent payment history. After that, he got approved for a pedal card for $2,000, then went to Navy Federal and got an $8,000 limit.
Wow, from $300 to $10 in approvals within months.
In about a year, he'd accumulated over $18,000 in total credit lines. His key: never ever late. And he kept his utilization religiously under 10%.
Discipline and strategy. Okay, case 2.
Case 2, Mariana, 34. Her score was stuck around 690. Felt like she hit a wall.
Many people feel that way.
Right. So she got proactive. She disputed errors on her report, got them removed, and she attacked her utilization, brought it down from 65%
Oof.
down to just 4% in 2 months. Really focused effort. Then, with her profile optimized, she applied for an Amex, cut $15,000. Followed that quickly with Chase and Discover, adding another $22,000 combined.
Incredible turnaround. What was her key?
Applying in that tight 4-day sequence right after finishing her optimization. Perfect timing.
Optimization, then strategic sequence.
Got it.
And case 3.
Case 3. Jorge, 42, a business owner. He already had some $5,000 limit cards, but needed much more for his business needs. He strategically opened a relationship with PenFed, built some history there. Then he applied specifically for business lines of credit. He was careful to separate his personal and business credit profiles, followed expert advice on structuring it.
Okay, separating business and personal.
Yes. Result: in just 3 months, he added $50,000 in combined personal and business credit.
$50,000. That's significant.
His key was that separation and building a solid structure, leveraging the right types of credit for his needs.
Looking across these cases, Andres, Mariana, Jorge, the common threads seem clear. They started where they were, they did the hard work of optimizing before applying, used strategic trade lines, applied in sequence, and importantly, didn't give up if things didn't work immediately. They adjusted.
Exactly. It absolutely proves it's not about luck. It's about understanding the system and executing a smart strategy persistently.
Right. Strategy and persistence. But getting the high limit, that's just the start, isn't it? The source argues the real power is keeping it, growing it over the long haul.
It absolutely is the long game. Getting the limit is step 1. Maintaining and nurturing it is where the real power lies. It's about building lasting trust.
So how do you do that? Nurture the relationship.
First, consistent, responsible use. Don't just get a $20,000 limit and let the card gather dust. Use it monthly for regular, everyday purchases, gas, groceries, maybe streaming subscriptions, things you'd buy anyway. But, and this is crucial, always pay the full statement balance, ideally before the statement even cuts, to keep reported utilization near zero.
Show activity, but extreme discipline.
Exactly. The source suggests using maybe at least 10% of your limit monthly, but paying 100% of it off before the due date. Shows you can handle a limit responsibly.
Okay. Use it, but pay it fully. What else?
Second, request limit increases every 6 months. Don't be shy. If you're using the card responsibly, paying on time, many banks are happy to raise your limit. Check their app or website every 6 months or so. Often it's just a soft pull.
And getting increases helps your score further, right? Lower utilization.
Precisely.
Right.
Doubling your limit over a year through increases significantly boosts your profile and score, assuming your spending doesn't balloon with it.
Request increases regularly. Good tip.
Third, maintain active bank relationships beyond just the card. Use their other services if it makes sense. Checking, savings, maybe a CD. It shows loyalty, makes you a more valuable customer overall.
Don't just be a credit card number.
Right. Interact occasionally. Don't be totally invisible. Fourth, avoid closing old accounts. We said it before, but it bears repeating. Account age is critical. Keep those old cards open, even with minimal use.
Keep the history alive. Got it.
And finally, fifth, don't get overconfident. Having access to $50,000 in credit isn't free money. It's a powerful tool, but use it wisely. Don't let it become an excuse for uncontrolled debt. The goal is financial freedom, not deeper liabilities.
Use credit as a tool, not an escape. Wise words. It truly is a relationship built on trust, activity, consistency. Nurture it.
And banks will likely reward you over time.
Okay, finally, let's touch on some of those modern tools the apps and platforms mentioned for building credit, especially with trade lines.
Yes, these have really opened up credit building for a lot of people. They report positive activity directly to the bureaus.
So which ones does the source highlight?
Well, there's SelfInc. That's the one where you make payments into a secured savings account, building history, and get the money back later.
SelfInc, okay.
Grow Credit. That's the clever one, using subscriptions like Netflix or Spotify as the basis for reporting payments via a virtual card.
Using subscriptions? Interesting.
Experian Boost. That's the free tool, specifically from Experian. Lets you add utility bills, cell phone, internet payments to your Experian report. Can give a quick score bump.
Experian Boost for utilities.
Got it. Kickoff. They offer tiny, interest-free microloans designed purely to generate positive payment history. Great for absolute beginners or repairing credit.
Kickoff from microcredit history.
Credit Strong. Similar concept as Self-Filadiri, a savings secured loan that reports monthly payments. Good for adding age and installment loan history.
Credit Strong, another savings loan type.
Ava, an emerging fintech that reports a monthly subscription fee as a consistent payment, strengthening your profile.
Ava, okay.
And Kovo, another one using a subscription model where your payments get reported as an installment account, helping your credit mix.
Kovo, lots of options there. Do you use all of them?
Oh, definitely not.
Yeah.
The idea is to pick maybe 2 or 3 that fit your specific situation and goals. Using them consistently for, say, 6 to 12 months can make a really powerful difference in evolving your credit profile, especially if you're starting out or rebuilding.
Choose a couple strategically. Okay, so wrapping this all up.
Yeah.
Wow. We've gone from the basics of credit scores to deep bank secrets, optimization steps, application sequences.
Yeah, it's quite a comprehensive system when you lay it all out.
What does it all mean in the bigger picture?
I think connecting it all, achieving this powerful credit, it really comes down to intentional action and continuous learning. It's clearly not about luck. It's about making informed, strategic choices that genuinely open doors to significant financial freedom.
What stands out most to you from this deep dive today? For me, maybe it's that idea that a perfect 850 score isn't even the real goal.
Right. The banks want active, real profiles.
Yeah, or just knowing that a rejection isn't always final, that calling for reconsideration can actually work.
That's a powerful one, too. For me, it might be the emphasis on optimizing before you even think about applying. That groundwork seems paramount.
Absolutely. So ultimately, this raises the question for everyone listening. How will you use this knowledge? How will you start proactively building the credit profile you want, the one you deserve?
Because that journey, whether it's from $0 to $10,000 or $5,000 to $50,000 in credit, it's not just a dream. It really does begin with that first intentional strategic step.